प्रोफेसर बीसी राउत के परिवार के सदस्यगण, विद्यार्थीगण, भाई और बहन, आज का ये दूसरा प्रोफेसर बीसी राउत मेमोरियल लेक्चर देने का जो मुझे सौभाग्य मिला है, इसके लिए मैं राउत परिवार का बहुत आभारी हूँ। मेरी इसके बारे में पात्रता कम है, सिवाय इसके कि राउत साहब ने राजनीति शास्त्र का अध्ययन, अध्यापन और लेखन किया और मैं समाजशास्त्र का जो एक पक्ष है, राजनीतिक समाजशास्त्र, पॉलिटिकल सोशियोलॉजी, दैट हैज बीन माय पैशन for last 45 years. Today we heard about the attractive personality, a role model, an institution builder, and a passionate patriot, Professor B.C. Rout's life journey. And his impact is personified by many of you, including his grandchildren. And we hope that remembering Professor Rout will also make all the teachers of not only political science but all other disciplines feel honored. Because respecting a teacher is respecting wisdom and knowledge of elder generation. And it is said that teachers never pass away. They are present in our life through their students and their writings. Actually, Buddhists believe that all of us have three forms of our existence. Sharir Kaya, that is our physical body, which gets eliminated with the end of physical journey, and all of us are bound to be cremated one way or the other. And that is the end of the physical self. But there is another self called Karma Kaya, our activity, our action, which is stays beyond our physical self, good or bad. Duryodhana is remembered for his bad deeds, Raman is remembered for his horrible activity, and Rama and Krishna are remembered for their good deeds. And that is the destiny of all of us. The cycle of karma makes us live beyond our physical self, and the way he lived, Professor Rout, is again exemplified by your presence. And of course there is third self, third body form, which is the values, the dreams, the ideas, the vision, which you leave as your heritage for the coming generations. Today, I want to draw your attention to a central problem of our country, particularly our polity, and the need to find a way out. What is the central problem of India today? Is it poverty, corruption at high places, lawlessness, lack of faith in our destiny or future, decaying democracy? Actually, if you put all of it together, it is the challenge of nation building. All countries have most of the problems I listed in one or the other manner, ranging from most affluent United States of America to most pauperized Afghanistan. So when we list our failures, our challenges, we are not doing anything to demoralize ourselves. We are only contextualizing our location in the community of nations in the world family. Actually, the generation of political analysts like Professor B.C. Rout made us convinced that we are destined to be a great nation, because we had a very serious document called Constitution of India, and his writings became one of the windows, particularly for Oriya people. And I respect his tribute, his contribution, also because he wrote mostly in Oriya, in a time when we were still suffering with mental slavery, dominance of English language. At that time, he builds brick by brick the power of a language called Oriya for understanding political science and social science in general. And that tribute will be remembered for many more generations to come, when Oriya will become more and more attractive medium of learning and communication. Secondly, he chose a noble profession of teaching. Teaching, as we all know, has little reasons to be attractive. मास्टर के पास पैसा तो होता ही नहीं है, और जिसको पढ़ा दिया वो समझता है कि हमको तो सब आता ही था, गुरुजी ने क्या किया या मैडम ने क्या किया, और जो फेल हो गया उसने कहा गुरुजी इतने गड़बड़ थे कि हमको समझ ही नहीं आया, पॉलिटिकल साइंस जिंदगी बर्बाद कर रहे हैं. But there are some fortunate teachers who are respected as path finder. Guru Govind दो खड़े काके लागो पान बलिहारी गुरु आपनो Govind दियो बता. It seems that Professor Rout belonged to that category of master teacher who was all over Odisha teaching people, opening their eyes and making them competent political scientists and political analysts. So let me engage you for next 25 to 30 minutes about this basic challenge which would have been addressed by Professor B.C. Rout if he had the time and opportunity. And that is the challenge of nation building in India. Nation building is a daily activity of all of us around the idea of us. As long as we realize that we are part of a great fraternity spread from Kerala to Kashmir or Kutch to Kohima, that gives us great confidence. And we are no ordinary nation. We have a legacy of memories of 5,000 years, if not more. We have ups and downs in our history, but we remain floating compared to many other civilizations. And today, we are about to launch ourselves as the largest democracy in the world, with great stories of successes in fighting first foreign rule and then fighting internal problems. But still there are problems of nation building in India. If you look at the story of India, many people like to talk in binaries. एक इंडिया बन गया, एक भारत बन गया, सब अमृत चला गया इंडिया के हिस्से में और विष आ गया भारत के हिस्से में. भारत मतलब गांव, गरीब, किसान, मजदूर, महिला. इंडिया मतलब अंग्रेजी पढ़े लिखे, बड़ी बड़ी जगहों पर बैठे हुए, बड़ी बड़ी तनख्वाहें कमा रहे और हर तरह से सुखी और संपन्न. That's the binary view of India. Similarly, urban versus rural, there's another great divide. There is also making of a new divide between north and south. दक्षिण वाला कमाता है, उत्तर वाला खाता है. Then there is gender view of India. पितृसत्ता समाज है, अगले जन्म में बिटिया न कीजो. Do anything but don't make me a woman in my next life. That is the experience of many women, educated, uneducated, urban, rural, elite, mass. But actually, if you look at the bottom line of our nation building process, we have three reasons to celebrate. Achievements of our forefathers, founding fathers and mothers. First of all, our success in becoming free of the clutches of colonialism. Battling for freedom was duty of all patriots all over the world, but we were the first success story. And that was no ordinary achievement for a country like India to come out of the clutches of British imperialism. Second great success was making of our constitution. We had such divided nation on caste lines, on religious lines. Actually, in the name of religion, there was partition. In the middle of transition from British rule to native rule. And third, a gang of more than 500 self-seeking Rajas and Maharajas and Nawabs who were dreaming of balkanizing India, declaring themselves republics and getting recognition by the British Raj, if not others. So, constitution building was a miraculous job which included all those who were refusing to be included throughout the journey of freedom struggle. It must have been a classical stroke, a political genius to create unity in the face of those diversities which were fueled and promoted by foreign rule. And then the third was merger of these princely states without shedding a drop of blood except in Hyderabad and a bit in Kashmir. But beyond that, we had many problems which were handled with a bit of pragmatism, and we are paying for them now. We did not have the courage or conviction to make education as a fundamental right. It took 70 years, and that was missing a golden opportunity of cultivating power of knowledge and education. Until today, we don't have a straight line to follow in our education system. I've spent my life in the education system. I was privileged to be educated in some of the best universities of the country. I had won many scholarships and fellowships, so I was basically nurtured by post-colonial Indian states. But if you go around, you don't want to hear the stories of educational institutions and the level of decay across the board and lack of a well-defined direction, policy, program. We do have a national education policy, but it has been born in very difficult circumstances. And it is nobody's baby today. Then we have the problem of concurrent list. And education is being underlined because education is one of the softest way of changing a society. One of the smoothest way of building a nation. They said that by introducing public education in England and France, the British and the French were able to create a nation because they came from villages, from families, and they went out as British or French patriots. After army, it is the universities and colleges who create this we feeling. All those who have gone through universities and colleges will recognize the power of bonding as student friends. They become closer than brothers and sisters. So education was one area where we missed the opportunity. Second was right to information. It is our government. What's going on behind the great curtains, behind the closed doors? Not much knowledge, not much information, not much participation. Again, right to information was introduced to us to become wise voters, a little late, but better late than never. And then the problem of future, right to livelihood. Why it was left to the left only, the communists and the socialists, to argue without much impact for including right to work along with right to vote. And given these three missed opportunities, we have compounded a number of problems of nation building. But we have stayed with democracy, and that is a great assurance for our future. Actually, there are 5 problems which people like Professor Bishnu Charan Rout would have elaborated further in the light of the Constitution. The book he wrote in 1960s has acquired a new relevance because most of the politicians did not refer to Constitution in a diligent manner. It was a text for lawyers, but today it is becoming text for political workers. And Constitution is the binding thread for all the people of India with their different memories, different trajectories, different expectations, different status and location. What are these 5 nagging problems which were addressed by freedom fighters, makers of modern India, but refused to melt away? And is there a Gandhian way? Why I want to insist on Gandhian way is because other ways have been followed. We have followed mixed economy way, and we spent 60 to 65 years with some interruptions in making this country a united whole by finding solutions through mixed economy. We also had some regional experiments of regionalism, not nation but region, in Tamil Nadu, and from Tamil Nadu we came to Kolkata. From Kolkata now, 3/4 of India is being run by regional parties. They have no interest, no inclination, and no capacity to go beyond their ethnic region, linguistic region. But they are not dangerous for democracy, they are boon for democracy. But there is problem of connecting nation with region. We have these 5 problems which were plaguing our national movement, and Gandhi engaged himself in a constructive manner. He succeeded in some projects, he failed in some other projects. But there is a Gandhian way. Essence of Gandhian way is to create ethical basis of public life, also personal life. But ethical way of public life, are you joking? Politics requires opportunism. पैसा नहीं होगा तो राजनीति नहीं होगी, और पैसा किसके पास है? काला धन वाला ही पैसा लाएगा, कुछ देशी पैसा, कुछ विदेशी पैसा. This is the common response of people in politics today. It was not like that during the freedom struggle when Gandhi commanded the scene. Nature meant somebody who offered supreme sacrifice. Subhash Bose. सबको हर गहरे को कुर्ता पजामा पहनने वाले नेताजी लोग नहीं कहते थे. नेताजी मतलब सुभाष चंद्र बोस, who was most qualified to serve in bureaucracy, who was selected to lead the national movement, and who created a military response also to British Empire. Most daring of the patriots, Netaji. And political work meant giving your all, giving your best for the cause of nation. Bhagat Singh was hanged, and he wanted to be hanged so that courage can be cultivated among youth of India for the cause of the nation. So, Gandhian way requires complete commitment to Swaraj. Complete. Not Babu Raj, not Delhi Raj, not Bhubaneswar Raj. Swaraj. It requires self-reliance. It requires sharing with others through sadhigi, simplicity, austerity, which was one of the articles of faith of people like Prof. Bishnu Charan Rout. He lived a simple life. I think one of the grandchildren wrote that grandfather used to say, simple living, high thinking. It was not only Sri B.C. Rao, it was a national commitment. All the people who fought for freedom, various mini Gandhis here, there and everywhere. I met this morning a very eminent public person of Odisha. His father was called Gandhi of a particular kasbah. There was a replicating effect. Unethical people were not part of freedom struggle. And today, ethical people are not part of political process. कैसा दुनिया बदल गया, एकदम 180 डिग्री का टर्न हो गया। आज का लड़का लड़की राजनीति में आना नहीं चाहता है, और राजनीति में अगर आए तो खाली कमाना चाहता है, नाम नहीं पैसा। और आपको देख के हंसता है कि अरे सर पैसे का तो कुछ इंतजाम ही नहीं किया, आपसे क्या होगा। और हम जब पूछते हैं कि गांधी जी ने कितना इंतजाम किया, जवाहरलाल ने कितना किया, सुभाष बोस ने कितना, अरे वो जमाना चला गया है। जब आप रात में सोने गए थे सारी दुनिया बदल गई। अब नाउ इट इज अनदर वर्ल्ड। So Gandhi had this second demand to be ethical if you are in public life. Otherwise, do your business, you make your money, nobody bothers. आप गोश्त का धंधा करिए, शराब का धंधा करिए, दवाई का धंधा करिए, कुछ भी करिए, पैसा कमाइए, nobody. But in the name of politics, which is art and science of nation building, you have to follow ethical code of conduct. Otherwise, you are being anti-people. You are hurting the cause of the country. You are not contributing to nation building. Then there's question of religion. After ethics, religion was second concern of Gandhi. Many modernizers thought that religion will be part of the past. ये पुराने जमाने का बात है। आने वाले जमाने में न हिंदू बनेगा, न मुसलमान बनेगा, इंसान का औलाद है, इंसान बनेगा। वो गाना गाने के लिए अच्छा था हॉलीवुड और बॉलीवुड में। रोज की जिंदगी में आपका मरना, जीना, आपका शादी ब्याह, सब कुछ रिलीजन के पैरामीटर में है। वो देख के बताएंगे कि हिंदू का मुर्दा जा रहा है कि मुसलमान का मुर्दा जा रहा है। वो देख के बताएंगे कि हिंदू का शादी हो रहा है कि मुसलमान का। आप कहते रहिए कि हम एथीस्ट हैं, हमारा तो धर्म, ये तो मम्मी पापा के लिए हम बैठ गए पूजा पर, लेकिन वो बॉटम लाइन है सोसाइटी का। एंड गांधी वाज वन ऑफ द वेरी फ्यू हु टॉक्ड अबाउट सर्वधर्म समभाव। एक अच्छा हिंदू ही अच्छा मुसलमान होगा, मुसलमान का सम्मान करेगा। एक अच्छा मुसलमान होने से ही आप अच्छे इंसान बनेंगे। ये गांधी करेज के साथ बोलते थे। एंड टुडे इन 21st century इंडिया वी सी रिलीजन कमिंग बैक विद द स्पिरिट ऑफ वेंजेंस। जहां कहा था गर्व से कहो हम भारतीय हैं, अभी कहते हैं गर्व से कहो हम मुसलमान हैं, हिंदू हैं, सिख हैं, ईसाई हैं। और उससे आगे कदम बढ़ जाए तो खालिस्तान चाहिए, दलिस्तान चाहिए, दलितिस्तान चाहिए। एंड गांधी टेल्स अस a practical solution, सर्वधर्म संभाव। अगर सर्वधर्म संभाव नहीं संभव है तो कम से कम सर्वधर्म सद्भाव तो होना चाहिए। आपका पूजा का हम एक तरीका है, हमारा दूसरा तरीका है। आपका पूजा का एक स्थान है, हमारा दूसरा स्थान है। आपका पूजा का एक किताब है, हमारा दूसरा किताब है। हम एक दूसरे की इज्जत करें। जैसे आप हमारे माँ पिता की इज्जत करते हैं और हम आपके माँ पिता का इज्जत करते हैं, then the feeling of us will be possible. लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ा सवाल गांधी ने उठाया वो गरीबी का सवाल उठाया. He wrote very clearly that if this crushing poverty is not addressed by us, a non-violent social order will not be possible. And togetherness of super rich and chronic poor will make this system blow into pieces. ये आजकल नक्सलवादी की भाषा नहीं लिख सकता जो गांधी ने कंस्ट्रक्टिव प्रोग्राम रचनात्मक कार्यक्रम के बुकलेट में लिखा 46 में. The system will blow into pieces. यही बात डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर ने भी लिखा, लेकिन थोड़ा सॉफ्ट तरीके से लिखा. You remember Dr. Ambedkar gave his last speech in the Constituent Assembly's last session. He said that from today we are entering into an age of new contradictions. The old contradiction is solved between foreign rule and Swadeshi Andolan, Swaraj. But we are entering into a new system of contradictions. And what is that contradiction? We are starting with a system where it will be political equality, right to vote, but social and economic inequality. And unless we address the problem of social and economic inequalities in a time-bound manner, the effort to create political equality will be meeting its end. वो संभव ही नहीं होगा. राजनीतिक समानता और सामाजिक और आर्थिक विषमता साथ साथ नहीं कर सकते. And he said that the soil on which we are planting this democracy plant is very thin. A class society है, ये class society नहीं है. So we have to be more vigilant, more indulgent, more engaged than the British and the Americans, who did not have a caste society. Gandhi also argued for some people to be engaged in nation building as their primary vocation. And he identified three agencies. First of all, students and youth. Today, students and youth don't have any agenda before them except crisis of career. And career is becoming more and more complex reality. Jobless growth का मॉडल है भाई ये. Is not job-centric economy. You can change your prime minister and president and finance minister, but the result, net result of LPG paradigm, liberalization, privatization, globalization, is jobless growth, whether it is in America or India. America can afford to be for a few years with jobless growth paradigm because they have unemployment allowance. India cannot. Indian youth need some support in livelihood struggles. And then the next part of this story is our own character building. That is where Gandhi is unique among all political leaders. He argued that will you wait for a new society to be built till the British Raj is gone, till capitalism is gone? He asked it to socialists and communists कि जब तक कैपिटलिस्ट क्लास को तुम हरा नहीं लोगे तब तक इंतजार करोगे? No, I will start from today and I will not bother about the others. I will start from myself. So he gave a list of 11 vows, Ekadash Vrat. The difference between an ordinary man and woman and a great man and woman is these 11 vows. First of them was truth, Satya. Second was ahimsa. Now these are simple things which are said again and again. No mother, no father, no religion has ever promoted untruthful behavior or violence. सब धर्मों में कहा गया लेकिन हम सत्य के करीब भी नहीं जाते. राज असत्य का ही चलता है. गांधी जी उसको एक बार डिसाइसिव रप्चर क्रिएट करना चाहते थे कि तुम अपनी जिंदगी में कम से कम सच के साथ चलो। वो कठिन होगा, लेकिन वो आपको एक अलग तरह की ताकत देगा, मॉरल पावर देगा, ऐसे अहिंसा का। और दूसरी तरफ शरीर श्रम, अस्पृश्यता निवारण, स्त्रियों का सम्मान, ये भी हमारे मीडिया है। ये जो महिलाओं के खिलाफ हिंसा बढ़ रही है, हर साल there's a national report about crime against women. We are increasing literacy, we are increasing education, but we are also getting reports of increasing violence against women. और ये कहीं से इंपोर्ट होके नहीं आ रहा है। This habit of violence against women is not a colonial hangover. It has not been a conspiracy of China. It's our culture. And from where we start? We start with children. We start with ourselves. It's not easy to commit yourself not to be violent against women. But that will be the day of supreme commitment for nation building if men of India commit not to be violent against women of India. And this is only Gandhi. Others avoid, ignore, politically not correct. So, not taking advantage of your commitment to Prof. B.C. Rout and respect for people invited for memorial lecture, I want to argue that some of the books written by Prof. B.C. Rout have acquired new relevance, particularly those who are about constitution, about democracy, about political system. And after 75 years, when many of the models of nation building have resulted into disappointment, there is need to revisit the Gandhian way. There was one man who made significant contribution in my generation's time, that was Jayaprakash Narayan. And he gave a simple solution, that the idea of nation building has to be connected with people's committee. Let people become master of their own destiny. Look after their rural, urban requirements. Let us move from representative democracy to participatory democracy. So Jayaprakash Narayan showed three departures from the present model. One was establishing participatory democracy. The other was engaging in electoral reforms. And third was structural transformation to end the vicious cycle of poverty, which he recognized after the Maoist challenge. Naxalites had challenged Gandhians in Bihar, Muzaffarpur. Jayaprakash Narayan went there and stayed there for a year and a half, 18 months, and gave a new diagnosis of Maoist problem. Maoist problem is not law and order problem. Maoist problem is not foreign infiltration. Maoist problem is created by our own misgovernance and wrong priorities. So he wrote a small book called Amne Samne, Face to Face. And I think there is an advancement of the Gandhian way by Jayaprakash Narayan and the generation which is inspired by Jayaprakash Narayan. That generation has already reached the age of 70. जो लड़का लड़की 15 साल से 25 साल का था 1974-75 में, अब उसका कितना उम्र हो गया? You had straight away 50 years. तो हम लोग अब बुष्टी क्षमा है और we failed Jayaprakash Narayan and Gandhi. If the generation of Nehru, Patel, Maulana Azad failed Gandhi, our generation failed Jayaprakash Narayan. And that has created a bad image of all of us who were in charge of the affairs of the country for the last 75 years, who were committed for decolonization, development and democracy. And on all three fronts, we need new initiatives. He was a great teacher, Prof. B.C. Rout, and it is the job of the teacher to present a problem in the form of interesting questions. I present before you the problem of challenge of nation building, and out of many ways give some thought to the Gandhian way, and that will be a great tribute to a great scholar. Thank you very much.